What is up, everybody? It's your boy, DFS Up North, aka Josh Thomas from DFS Army. We are back with another Four Thoughts PGA podcast, and today we are talking about the WGC Dell Match Play, one of my favorite events of the year. We're going to be talking about lineup construction and how to build the best lineups to give you the best chance to take down that GPP. Here we go. What is up, everybody? Like I said, it's your boy, DFS Up North from DFS Army here, talking to you today about the Dell Match Play, WGC. We get the top 64 players in the world, March Madness style bracket. And this is now our third year having this in DFS, and there is a ton of strategy that goes into it. It's a really, really fun week. It's a nice break from the normal pick six golfers. Hope they get through the cut. It's a little bit different sweat. It's a little bit longer of a week. We start on Wednesday. We're recording this on Monday night. And I'm excited. Like I said, this is one of my favorite weeks of the year, but this needs to come with a little bit of a disclaimer. All right. This week is more volatile than any other on tour. We see the top guys go down early. We see it's a weird week. All right. So don't play a bunch of money. This is fun. Like, if you win $1 million, awesome, right? That's great. That's gravy. But like, you're not looking to build your bankroll this week. All right. You're not looking to play cash. You're taking some shots. You're trying to, figure out this puzzle of, how we attack this tournament. And from there, we get to watch and try to figure out all the possibilities. Are our guys still alive? And go from there. So again, it's a fun week, but don't go crazy. I think we got an edge. I personally believe we have an edge. We've had a lot of success in this tournament the last couple of years at DFS Army. So let's get to it. Let's talk a little bit about the bracket. So let me bring this up here. Ooh, that's DraftKings. We'll get back to that in a second, but this is what I'm going to pull this up from our boy Rick Run Good here. Thank you very much for making a handy dandy bracket for us. So basically what happens is that they take, there's 4 pods of golfers, right? So there's the top 16, the next 16, the next 16, and then the bottom 16. Each group gets 1 player from each. So if we look at the top here, we can see that, if I can, how do I zoom here on scroll? But we can see that Jon Rahm's the number 1 seed. Obviously, he gets a guy from the next 16. That random draw was Patrick Reed. Next 16 is Cam Young. Next 16 is Sebastian Munoz. So a pretty tough group here, right? All of these guys are going to play each other once, all right? A win is worth a full point. A half is worth, obviously, half a point, meaning that they go to 18 and they're tied. And then the player with the most points at the end of those 3 matches wins. What happens if they're tied, right? A lot of times we see guys go 1-1-1, right? Or 1-0-2 last year, which was crazy. And they're tied. So what do? Do they get to go play 18 more holes? Nope. Sudden death, 1 round. All right. Which is 1 hole, which is pretty crazy, right? We saw a couple of guys. I think Abe Answer got knocked out last year on that. Who else? I was looking. Willie Z, I think, got knocked out. Yeah, it was Bobby Mack. Nope, that's this year. He got through last year. He beat DJ. But yeah, it's kind of an exciting little end to Friday to see if you're getting guys into the Sweet 16, because that's really what you want to do here, is right. You want to get 6 guys in your lineup. You want to advance as many on to the next round as possible. Easier said than done, right? It's a very, very difficult thing to do. Ideally, what we want to see is 6 of our golfers in this Elite 8. But we don't want them to cannibalize each other, right? So if I want a guy to get to the Elite 8, that means that if we look here, I can't have really 2 guys from this same little quadrant, right? So if I play, Jon Rahm and Shane Lowry in my lineup, and they both win, which is great. Yeah, I'm feeling awesome. They both end up playing each other in the Sweet 16. It's not the end of the world, but at the same time, like, we want to get guys to that Elite 8. That's those extra rounds. Like, you're going to see huge point totals in DFS this week. So those extra rounds are where you're going to get those extra points. So we want to try to avoid those cannibalizations, right? We want to avoid guys playing each other in the Sweet 16, ideally, right? That's in our head. I mean, you could end up picking, Varner and Jon Rahm, and they both miss out, and now you're screwed, right? So there's a little bit of luck involved in that, obviously, but if we can control things, that's one thing that we want to control. Like I said, ideally, we want 6 guys in the Elite 8. It would be awesome if we got 4 guys in the Final 4. That has yet to happen. All right. We've had 2 years of tournaments. We've had thousands and thousands and thousands of entries. And we have yet to get all 4 guys in the final 4. I was talking to Jason Roslin from over at Osimo today, and we were just kind of, talking about this tournament. And I believe he said he went through lineup rewind, and the lineup that won last year, he was able to recreate it, but there was 404 able to find it. There's 414 lineups that were better than it. All right. Which means that the lineup that's winning the GPP contest this week is not necessarily the optimal. All right. Now, do we get the optimal every week in DFS in the winning lineup? Not always, but it happens fairly regularly. At least we're close, right? Not 414 down the list, right? So it's tricky, right? It's a really tricky event. There's so many things that can happen, right? You're basically, trying to pick a guy out of this group of 4, then you got to see him keep advancing, right? And it's tough. All right. So here's my strategy. What I want to do is, like I said, I want to get 6 guys to the Elite 8 with the best chance. All right. And then if the way that I structure my lineups is I want to pick 2 guys from each of these little colors, right? Okay, so we got blue, purple, green, and orange. All right, I want to pick 3 guys or 2 guys from each. Well, that makes 8, right? So that's too many. I'm essentially saying that what you should do when you're building lineups this week is to entirely fade one quadrant of this bracket. All right. And the reason being is that I want to give my guys the best chance to get 3 of 4 into the finals. All right. Into the final 4. And just by pure math, by having 2 guys from a green, a blue, and a red, I've got a much better chance than if I have 2 from green, 2 from red, 1 from blue, 1 from orange. Right. Mathematically, like the way that those winnow down to the bottom, I've got a better chance if I have 2 from each. And we've seen now in hundreds of thousands of lineups that we haven't gotten the final 4 all there. All right. And the other part of this equation is that it's actually been possible for the final 4 to be in the same lineup. All right. We haven't even encountered the possibility that it's not possible at all. Right. If we get high seeded, high salary players in the final 4, let's say Justin Thomas and John Rahm both make it, the likelihood of the other 2 salaried guys being able to be rostered in a lineup is very, very, very low. So we are actually lucky that we haven't seen, one of these high-end salary type players make it to the finals, or 2 of them, because it's just not going to work, right? Your lineups are not going to, it's not going to be able to be built. So there's a possibility that you can't even get a 4 of 4, right? So like I said, my goal is I want to get 6 to the Elite 8 and I want to get 3 to the final 4. And the best way to do that is by fading one quadrant entirely. Now, I'm not saying that you fade that for all of your lineups, right? That would be crazy. We know how volatile this is. But like I said, your best bet is to go 2 of 2 from each of these quadrants. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. I'm going to build some lineups where I only play 2 quadrants because people get crazy, right? If I can play 3 players from each quadrant, I get a better chance of getting 2 to the final 4. That might be all I need. Not necessarily to take down a GPP, but that's going to get me there, right? That might get me there. So that's kind of where I'm at with how I built. That is a controversial take, all right? There are tons of talking heads on Twitter and guys that I have a ton of respect for, and I think they do a really, really good job that push for. You got to get somebody from each quadrant, and that's fine. Honestly, I'll be honest, right? The lineups that have won have done that, all right? But you got to understand the luck that takes, right? To get that one guy to slide all the way through his line, all the way through, right? Takes some luck. So again, this is a math problem, and we are just trying to figure out the math to give us the best odds to get a guy to the end, right? To the final 4. Because not only now when they get to the final 4, that's 2 matches, all right? There is a 3rd place match that they play. So you are getting all of those lineups. Oh God, as I'm recording, I'm getting buzz on Twitter, right? This, like I said, it's a controversial week. I said I wasn't going to get into it on Twitter this week because, again, I want you guys to get the edge. This is free, but I know that it's mostly DFS Army VIPs watching this. So that's how I'm going to attack it, all right? And we'll build lineups here in a second. We'll go back. I'll show you how I go back to the bracket and look at it and kind of go through my process, all right? Let's take a quick look, though, here over at my cheat sheet. All right. So, and talk you kind of through how this works and how you can read this. All right. So I have the cheat sheet set up in quadrants. All right. So these green or the yellow ones here, group 1, 16, tell you who they play in the second round, right? Or in the round of 16, because we don't want to cannibalize each other, right? So if I have John Rahm in my lineup, I do not want Brooks Koepka in my lineup because they're going to play each other in the round of 16. Unless you're just going with that 2 quadrant thing, which is a little tricky, right? But that's neither here nor there. So really, so if you look here and you go back to this picture, right? It's the yellow is this group right here. That's everybody's match play records. Okay. So as orange, correlates there. The light blues are going to be my core plays for the week. I've only got 1 in there so far. I need to look and see a little bit more. I think ownership it's not as big of a deal, but it is a deal this week. And we go down. So let's talk through some of these groups here, kind of where I'm thinking, what I'm at, where I'm at, how I'm feeling it, right? So as we go to this first group here, we got Rahm, Patrick Reed, Cam Young, Sebastian Munoz. Okay. Far and away the favorite here is John Rahm. I don't foresee anybody beating him, right? That's the top seeds go down all the time, right? Rahm might have a bad week. We've seen it with his putter, right? It's been ice cold. You could see, it wouldn't be hard for me to see Patrick Reed come in here and dominate. Would it be hard for me to see Cameron Young? The guy makes a ton of birdies, right? He gets in trouble because he makes some bogeys. Well, that doesn't matter as much in match play. Munoz, 2-1 last year to Rahm was, brought him to the brink. All right. So any of these guys, obviously Rahm's kind of the easy play here. But again, you got to be looking at this in a group of 4, but also in a group of 8, right? Because I got to look at, okay, is there people in this next group that I really like that I don't want to have to play, whoever in the next round. And that's the case for here, right? Group 16 is one of my favorite groups. I really like Brooks Koepka this week. I think that he's playing well. And I really, really, really like Shane Lowry. I think Shane Lowry is going to make a run here. His iron play has been outstanding. He's got top 12, finishing well. His match play record, not great. Here's the deal though with match play. Outside of really Kiz and Poulter, everybody's kind of the same. Everybody's around 45 to 55%. Kiz and Poulter are at 65. People with decent match play samples, right? So it's not. People are going to, really dial into the match play records and, how are their singles records? And Lowry's isn't great. Like, if you look here, he's 7, 16, and 3. Obviously not great. But again, has he been playing as well as he has? I mean, when he's had these match play opportunities, and where are these match play opportunities coming? He's had a couple here, but then you're talking Ryder Cup singles, things like that. So it's not great. But I really like Lowry, and who knows? Harold Varner? I think Harold Varner could make a run, right? Varner gets a hot putter any week. He's dangerous, right? Makes a ton of birdies. Can't avoid the big number. This is a great, great, great scenario for him. And salary comes into play too, right? So if I'm playing, Shane Lowry, I'm in really good shape. If I'm playing Harold Varner, I got a ton of salary savings. All right. So I really like kind of these 3 guys here at the top. Van Ryan, Minnesota boy. Sky Yuma, Gophers, what up? But I don't see EBR making a run this week. As we go down, we get hurt Bryson. All right, coming off the injury. Who knows, right? Who knows? But I really think that plays well for a guy like Taylor Gooch, who has been playing some pretty good golf. Decent price. Things went south for him at the Players because of a bad draw, but Gooch is a guy that can putt like crazy. And that in match play is really, really important, right? Guys that can bury 12, 15 footers for par to have the hole, right? You feel like, oh man, this guy's in trouble. I'm in good shape. Boom, he buries a 15 footer. Goes to the next hole, buries a 15 footer for birdie. Now all of a sudden you're down 1 when you felt like you should be up 1, right? That can be tilting for guys. Love Gooch. I think that he's an excellent play this week at 7,700. Definitely in the mix for me. Westwood. I mean, he's been good, right? At times. He's been terrible at times. Not somebody I'm getting super excited about. Dickie Bland. I mean, he's a good story. The guy's actually played decently on the European Tour. I mean, anybody could come out of this group. I'm personally on Gooch here. As we keep going down, because I'm playing Gooch, I don't love this group. But, obviously DJ's the class. Homa's been playing really well. Homa should have probably made it to the round of 16 last year. The guy, again, I just said it, love good putters. I'm gonna have quite a bit of Mackenzie Hughes. Mackenzie Hughes has made it to the round of 16 before here. It's Oklahoma did make it, right? He beat Morikawa in his round and then lost to the bench champion Billy Ho to get to the round of 16. Yeah, he lost to Billy Ho in that end of the round. Obviously DJ should dominate, but hey, Hughes with that putter, man, and his iron play's been better. I'm gonna have some Mackenzie Hughes here, especially at that price. Makes a ton of sense. Matt Wolff, until he shows me something, I can't get on board. As we continue to go down, we're gonna get into a close to a core play for me here coming up. But Group 5, this is the group of death. Scotty Scheffler, Matt Fitzpatrick, Tommy Fleetwood, and then match play stud Ian Poulter. Any of these guys could win. It wouldn't be surprised me to see any of these guys go 3-0. It wouldn't surprise me to see any of these guys go 0-3. It wouldn't surprise me to see everybody have every single match, right? This is a group of death. So when you have a group like this, it's hard to get excited to play anybody because there's so many good players in this group. The guy I like Fitz. I think Scheffler's obviously a great play. How do you go wrong with Poulter? Fleetwood's maybe the guy on the outs for me, but for real, I'm gonna be pretty low on this group. Not only just because they're gonna cannibalize each other, right? Like who knows who's gonna come out of here? These are going to be 3 meat grinder matches for these guys, and you know what? Like I'm not gonna pour my ownership into a group that anyone can come out of. I want to feel like I have a little bit of an edge here. All right. As we go down, we get defending champion Billy Horschel, Bomber Peters, Minwoo Lee, who I like but's been terrible, and my boy from Fargo, North Dakota, now lives in Texas, Tom Hoge. Love Hoge this week. I love Hoge. I think his game sets up perfectly. Won obviously earlier this year. He hasn't lost a strokes approach since the Farmers. Here's what I heard an interview with Hoge last year, and it really got me when he was talking last year at this point, and it seems like his game's kind of improved since that point. But he was talking about, hey, a lot of guys, they like to look for the fat part of the green. They're going to make pars. I know that I can't putt, basically, is what he said. So he's like, I'm just going to fire at every pin. And if it goes, it goes, right? If it doesn't, I can live with that. So I love that cavalier attitude. Like, I'm going to fire every pin. I'm going to make birdie. I'm going to see what happens, right? And in match play, I think that's really important, right? You need to make those birdies. You need to put pressure on your opponent. So, and he's done it, right? I love Hoge. I think that this is a very, very winnable group. Horschel's obviously been playing good, but Peters and Minwoo Lee, they don't scare me. So I'm more concerned about the Horschel Hoge matchup. Ideally, before we get there, we get Horschel with a loss, maybe to a Thomas Peters or really to a Minwoo Lee would be ideal, or a halve even, just to give Tom Hoge that little extra bump. But Hoge is going to be a core play for me this week. In this video, he's the only core play that I'm sharing. Really, really high on Tom Hoge this week. Obviously making his debut here at Austin Country Club, but a guy that can play. As we move on down, who am I going to pair with Hoge in this quad, right? Where am I going here? Lots of really good options. This is an interesting group. Hatton, Berger, Siwoo Kim, Bez. Bez hasn't been great. Siwoo's volatile. You're really coming down to Berger and Hatton here. I prefer Berger. Hatton can get hot, right? But Hatton's also a guy that can blow up. Group 4. Really, really strong group for Patrick Cantlay. He's not good at the players, but he had a bad draw. Not good at the Genesis. Not a lot of excuses there, especially with his irons. Lost 6 strokes approach over the last 2 tournaments, but the putter's been good. So I think for me, I'm probably going Berger or Cantlay down here in my lineups. We'll see when we make one here in a second, kind of where I end up, but I like both those guys. Another interesting group. I think Morikawa comes in really under as we move on to the next quadrant, right? We're on the other half of the bracket now. Morikawa, disappointing last week, right? I had a bunch of them, didn't quite get it done for me, or anybody for that matter. Iron play was okay, didn't make a ton of putts, just didn't do anything really all week. And because of that, he's going to be super low on. Comes into a, Kokrak, I'm not super excited about. Sergio, strong week here last year, not bad. And Bobby Mack has crushed this course. He's crushing 3 straight top 15s right now between the Euro Tour and the PGA Tour. I can't believe that Arnold Palmer didn't give him an invite. I know it's not Arnold Palmer anymore, but I can't believe Sam Saunders didn't give him an invite. I should have played the API. I really like Bobby Mack here. So in this group, that's a guy that I'm licking my chops to play. He's got just a ton of game. Drove the par 4 here last year. Made an eagle. Not afraid to go after these holes. I really like Bobby Mack this week. I'm not saying he's a core play yet, but he might be. Going down, another tough group, guys who are kind of all they're all kind of priced the same, right? I don't think you can sleep on anybody in this group. All 4 of these we got Answer, Webb, Harmon, Watson. The guy that I really like here is Brian Harmon. He's just been playing such great golf. That spaceship putter, he's making everything. Again, hard to play against. Gets it done. Group 10, we got Louis, Paul Casey, Corey Connors, Alex Noren. You guys know I love Alex Noren, but this is Group of Death B, right? This is like there's the top Group of Death. That's number 5. Group 10 is right there. Noren, super, super high on. He's had a ton of success in this format. He's had a ton of success at this golf course. Good on Pete Dye tracks. But again, it's hard to put real American dollars on Alex Noren when he's got to play Oosthuizen, Casey, and then Connors, who's a great ball striker, right? All guys that could take him out here. Xander Schauffele paid off the PGA Tour here. He's got a struggling Tony Finau. He's got Lucas Herbert, who's not good. Takumi Kanaya, who's way overranked. Like, if Schauffele doesn't walk through this bracket, this group, I will be very, very surprised. So, again, I'll say this, though. We talk about, hey, what bracket are we going to, go off of and not play a ton of? I think it's this blue group, this 2-15-10, 10-9 or 10-7. That's maybe the quad that I'm going to fade. I don't see, I'm looking at this right now, unless Morikawa or somebody heats up. Like, I don't know that the winner comes out of this group. We could watch this video back on Monday and I look like a moron, right? Like, how did you not pick Xander Schauffele? He had the easiest road. And I'll have some, but my initial reaction were Monday, starting to build lineups, is that quadrant is the one that I'm probably going to fade. All right. Moving down, last quad here. We got 6 and 11, and 3 and 14. All right. Top group. Woo-wee. We got Justin Thomas, who's obviously been playing outstanding golf lately, and Kevin Kisner, who just crushes this event in the same group. What do you do? All right. Most people are going to assume that JT and Kiz are going to be the two that come out of here, right? And I think that we see them rack up the ownership. So you can get some real leverage by playing a guy like Mark Leishman. All right. The sports books, actually, Kiz is 76, Leishman 75. DK Sportsbook actually has Leishman about a 3% chance better to come out of this group than Kiz, which is surprising to me. But so we're going to talk. He's 3% more likely to come out of the group and probably going to be 10-15% less owned than Kiz. So I think you can get some real leverage on the field here by playing a guy like Leishman. I think that whoever wins this group likely beats Group 11, unless Jordan Spieth gets the magic beans. I really like whoever comes out of Group 6 to make a run to at least the Elite 8, right? Possibly even further. As we go down, Spieth, he's not a great match play player. He's going to get a bunch of buzz because he's from Texas. He made it to the round of 16 here last year, but the current form isn't anything to get excited about. He is frustrating to play against, I'm sure. But I like Adam Scott here. I think that he's making his debut, which I don't love. You get a little bit of a discount in price. Odds are about the same. I said I don't think match play records really matter that much, but Keegan Bradley's got one win. Like, he's been around a long time. He's got one singles win. So I love Keegs. He's been playing great, but it's hard for me to get behind him here. Rose is always kind of an enigma. He can come out of this group if he gets a hot putter, but for me, it's kind of Scott or bust here in Group 11. As we continue to move down, we got 2 to go here. Neiman, Henley, McNeely. I think Russell Henley might come in as one of the higher owned plays of the week. People love him, and why not? The guy's been crushing it with his irons, gained like 11 strokes at the Players, which is insane. But I like Neiman. Neiman probably should have made a bigger run last year. I think this is a very winnable group. Lost in a playoff to Bubba last year. He's been playing some fantastic golf coming off his win. Kevin Na, I think, is an intriguing cheap option if you're looking for somebody down there coming off, got some baby swag, right? Made a run at this tournament before. Mav McNeely, late replacement for Sam Burns. He's fine. You could do worse, right? At 6,200, if you need the salary, go to it. I don't think that's a bad play by any means, right? I don't mind punting a guy here, right? And that was kind of my strategy 2 years ago, or 2019, was like, hey, let's just punt a guy here. So Lucas Bjerregaard, sure, throw him in, and look at guy ran to the Final Four. Because it doesn't matter, right? It really doesn't. Like, you are just trying to get guys with a chance to go. It's less about their actual golf, especially in a match play format, more about just building correctly and then letting the chips kind of fall where they may. Yes, you can make a lean on a guy like, hey, I'm not going to play, or I'm going to play Russell Henley because he's gaining 11 strokes approach. Yeah, you can do that. That's fine. But at the end of the day, I hate to say it's a lot of luck, but there's a lot of luck involved here. Final group, really tough, really tough. Hovland, Zalatoris. I think that we'll see those two come out on top here. That's going to be the match of the day. We'll see that on Friday. Tringali and Straka. Gotta get hot with the putter, right? Like Tringali was made a run last week for a little bit, then really faltered on the weekend. And Sepp, obviously, we've seen Sepp get it done, but this is a big step up for him, and he needs to do it for 6 days. Really, I mean, at that salary, probably get around to 16 might pay it off, but not my favorite play. All right, okay. DraftKings. Let's talk about building a lineup here. All right, so let's start with let's go to this green group here at the bottom. Tom Hoagie is my boy. He's a guy that I want in my lineup. I'm going to move myself over here so we can see a little bit better. So I am going to lock in my big Hollywood Hoagie play at 6,800 with my first guy. All right, so if I was going to go back and look here, I got Hoagie from the top group here. Now I got to take somebody from the bottom group. So I'm looking at Berger, Hatton, Cantlay. Let's start with, I think that Cantlay group is just, I love Sungjae. He's my boy. Love him. But at the end of the day, he's just not playing that well right now. So let's throw Cantlay in there. All right. So we're at 10-2. We got about 82.50 for the rest of our lineup. I said that, this blue group over here was maybe the one that I was going to consider fading. So let's do that, right? Let's focus on orange and purple here. So if we go to the top, right? Who did I like over there? That would be my yellows over here. All right, so we got Rom. Obviously, we can try to go. Let's try to go 2 big guys in there. Let's just see what that does. So if I went Rom, I would probably have to go Gooch, right? Okay, let's just see if we can make that work. Rom and Gooch. All right, so 7,700. That gets me to about 7,000. And now we got to go all the way over to the green, and I got to play a cheapie, right? So we can make this work with like a Kevin Na. All right. Oh, man, but I like Neiman there. I can work it with a list. Let's see what it looks like with Kevin Na. What does that leave me with? Says he's out. He's not. He'll be playing. Unless something's broken in the last minute that I haven't seen, but no, Kevin Na will be in. So now we got 7,400. What does that leave me with over here? Bring it up here. Kevin Na. So now I got to take somebody from this top group, and I got 7,400 to do it. Oh, nobody. I got nobody. I could play Justin Rose. I don't like that. If I get to Leishman, I would like that. All right, so we got to go back and we got to fix this thing. All right, so let's take out Kevin Na. Let's take out John Rahm. I really like Gooch. We talked about, hey, how about Koepka? How about Lowry? Let's put Lowry in there. All right. Now we got Lowry. Now I got 84.50 for the rest of this. All right, so now I got to play 2 guys from this green group for 84.50. All right, so can we go Joaquin Niemann, right? Said I was pretty high on Niemann. I think that's a good look. Niemann. Okay. And now that leaves me with 8,300. I can play Adam Scott. I can play Kiz. I can play Leishman. I think everybody's going to play Kiz. I don't mind playing Scott. The guy's been super hot with the putter. So if I put Scott in there, how's this look? Oh, look. Perfect fit. All right, let's double check here now, okay? So we've got Hoagie, and who else is from yellow here? If we go to, I've got Hoagie and Cantlay, right? Perfect. Okay, I've got Gooch and Lowry. Again, we want to look and make sure that nobody can play each other until the Elite 8. And then I've got Scott and who did I take down here? Oh, Niemann, right? So that's perfect, right? We made it work. I'm going to click enter because I've seen Geek do this before and not enter and then have the nuts lineup. So we're gonna get that one in there. And yeah, so that's that's my strategy for this week. Could we do something different? Yes. Could we, could you go back and build and try to take one from the, yeah, absolutely, right? Don't hamstring yourself, but that's how I am attacking this week. We've had some success in the past with this, trying to get 3 guys to the Final Four and not worrying so much about, getting 4 guys into the Final Four, because it just hasn't happened. And the likelihood is that A, it's not going to happen again, and B, it might even be impossible, right? It might be impossible for those 2 guys to make it work. Look, I'm going to show you that right now. Actually, let's go back and do that. Let's go. If I can go back, draft contest. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's say that Ram and JT make the finals. All right. What does that look like then? What does that look like? I got 7,000 for the rest of so I'm taking John Rahm and I'm taking JT. Okay, so now I got to take somebody from this bottom group here. I want to try to maybe save some money. All right, let's put Mack Hughes in there. Can we make it work? Can we make it work with 2 high-priced studs? And how does it feel, right? Mack Hughes. JT, who's the other side of his bracket? JT, I gotta go with the cheapie. I can go McNeely. I can go Tringali. I mean, I probably gotta go Kevin Na, right? Just to give myself some salary. Now, if I wanted to, what do I got left? So now I got 7,500. Let's go to blue. We didn't play a lot of blue. So if we went 7,500, let's go Norin. See can we fit Xander Schauffele in? Boop. All right. We know that he's got a pretty easy look here. We can take somebody from the group of death. Let's take Alex Norin. That leaves me 7,200. And Norin's going to play. Oh, I just missed Bobby Mack. Is there anybody that's not in this group? I could play Hoagie. Go somewhere like that. But again, how does that feel? Like, that's a shitty lineup, right? Like, that's a terrible lineup. Now, could that win? Sure, right? But like, that's not a great lineup. I don't like that at all. So like I said, like, you can go about this a couple of different ways. That's how I'm going to attack it. That's where I'm going. And like I said, we're going to have more content for you this week. If you want to, I'm going to update my cheat sheets. I'm going to put my core plays in there. We're going to, obviously, if we've got the Discord, if you're not in Discord, what are you doing? And we're chopping up. I just saw, guys talking strategy in there already. So it's a really, really fun week. It's the math. I like the puzzle part of it, right? But again, don't get super excited about playing a bunch of money this week, because things can go crazy here, as we've seen in the past with Lucas Beauregard or Victor Perez making the final. I will note that DFS Army was on both of those guys. If you are not a DFS Army VIP, you can use that code UPNORTH, 10% off VIP membership, right? Come join us. Use that code UPNORTH, get the discount. Other content we'll have out this week. I don't know if Thrive's doing contests. We'll have stuff up for that if they do. But yeah, I can't remember. I don't know if we did showdowns last year. I don't think we did. We'll see. No, yeah, we had showdowns last year, so we'll have that content up for you guys as well. All right, have a great day. Appreciate you guys watching. Hey, if you can do me a favor, like and subscribe to the DFS Army channel. And oh my gosh, we almost forgot. Last week, I said, hey, you pick the winner, write a comment, tell me about it, $50. Somebody did. Problem being, they picked 2 people. That was not what I said. You pick 1 person. You don't get 2 shots at this thing. So yeah, it was awesome. You picked Sam Burns, but you also picked Abraham Answer, I believe. So it don't work like that, people. You don't get 2 shots. So like, subscribe, share this on Twitter, put in the comments who you think is going to win. I will give you $50. I will send it to you, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, whatever you want. I'll send you a check in the mail. I don't care. But comment, let me know who's going to win. We'll hook you up. All right. Cheers, guys.